So my research is literally it's the worst math problem ever. 1 plus 1 equal to 3. If I was a mathematician, I'll be kicked out immediately. But when it comes to my research particularly, it's something that I look high upon. And what I mean is Lawrence kind of alluded it before, I focus in on evaluating synergy between drugs. Within my research, especially when it comes to prostate cancer, we're always in the monotherapy mindset of one drug for one thing to eradicate whatever tumor cells that are around. Unfortunately, prostate cancer always has a way to get around it. So investigators everywhere are looking for another way of looking at things where we can combine different drugs. And so at the time, there were multiple kinases that have been found, at least in my lab's research and other labs' research, where they're hyperactivated. And so the common question is, if these are hyperactivated as a form of resistance, why don't we use these as at least a pinpoint for therapy? And some people will be like, all right, we'll use it as monotherapy. I, on the other hand, I'm like, well, let's do both. Add both the standard of care. I think currently now it's enzalutamide for prostate cancer, but a particular kinase called SARP kinase is hyperactivated in prostate cancer. So I'm using inhibitors for that. And I'm not just saying I'm combining them together and just seeing more like cells die. I'm mathematically, and this is the most computation I do in my life, Lawrence. I use an algorithm, and that is coded, or at least coded towards a equation called the combination index equation that allows me to see how much of the two drugs that when they're together are they synergizing to cause a better effect versus when they're apart. And so when I say 1 plus 1 is 3, it can actually be more than that, but that's what I'm looking for to see if one drug, when it meets another drug, causes a greater reaction and a greater effect to these cells versus when they're apart.